Hello! In 2001, Rockstar completely changed the gaming industry forever with the release of GTA 3. This 3D open world sandbox sold more copies than the developers could have ever comprehended. It didn't just blow up the gaming industry, it made Rockstar one of the best gaming companies in the world. With all this in mind, I want to ask a question. How do they follow up from GTA 3? How do they make a game that could surpass the so-called revolutionary game? And I'm also going to tell you how they did it in 1 year. Development for the next Grand Theft Auto started just after completing GTA 3 in 2001. Pressure was already ramping up for Rockstar because at the time, Grand Theft Auto 3 was starting to gain serious recognition. Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two, were also heavily reliant on this game. They didn't intend on making a sequel for this game straight away. They were looking at making an expansion pack for GTA 3, but they realized that they had so much for a mission expansion pack that they thought, you know what, we have so much models, let's just make a brand new game. So now they've got the ball rolling. They've got the idea, they're like, okay, we're gonna make a new game now. And you might be thinking, how did they land on the Miami theme? Well, interesting enough, they were actually contemplating going back to London because they released the London 1969 expansion pack. I always think that's kind of funny. Like, imagine if they had gone back to the UK with their games. Think about the trajectory. That would have completely changed Rockstar forever, man. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, they decided to go with Miami because Sam Houser loved the series Miami Vice. While talking about this, you need to realize that Grand Theft Auto Vice City had heavy inspiration. As one of the developers said in an interview, that you said you couldn't go 5 minutes without finding an Easter egg for a movie or something like that, because Grand Theft Auto Vice City wore its inspiration on its sleeve. That's what it did. Sam said the color, the music, the missions, the crime was all based off of Miami Vice. It was also the complete opposite to Liberty City. Liberty City was very dark and dreary, but now with Miami you're going with like the neon lights and the beaches and stuff like that. As I said, another inspiration was Scarface, as you'll probably see with the Vercetti estate. So now they have the setting. How did they come up with the story? Once they had the setting, I mean, like, the story basically told itself, you know? As mentioned already, they took inspiration from a lot of movies because Sam Houser just loved that vibe. Scarface had Tony Montana going from a nobody to a freaking drug lord.
Say hello to my little friend!
The Godfather had organized crime and, you know, themes of power struggles and stuff like that. Miami Vice, obviously. The Sopranos came out in '99, so like they could have easily taken inspiration from that as well. But anyway, coming from GTA 3, GTA 3 story revolves around betrayal and revenge. But this one is a more of a nobody to somebody arc. So it's completely different, you know what I mean? One of the biggest leaps from 3 really is the characters, you know. All the characters are now voiced, which is amazing. Rockstar wanted to have a more cinematic approach with this game, again being heavily inspired by movies and series, so they started hiring celebrities for their voice acting. Now, it's funny enough, actually, this caused a lot of issues for Rockstar. First of all, when you're hiring celebrities, they have a massive ego, especially back in 2001 when like video games wasn't as big as it is now, and they probably thought, like, you know, oh, like, I'm way bigger than this, like, you know, I'm probably way bigger than whatever the fuck this is, like, you know, this project, I'm bigger than that, and they asked for more money and stuff like that. Now, they're not coming out and saying, oh, like, Ray Liotta was a pain in the ass, but they said Vice City was a learning curve for them, because they said after Vice City, okay, we're not getting those big names in again. I think the last kind of big name they got was Samuel L. Jackson for San Andreas, but that's about it, because it just was just too much of an issue. Another issue was that if you were to hear a famous person in a video game, it would kind of take away the immersion that, like, you know, oh, this is Tommy Vercetti. You might start thinking, oh no, this is Ray Liotta. But anyway, going back to their inspiration, the voice actor for Lance Vance, his name is Philip Michael Thomas. He actually plays Tubbs in Miami Vice. Ricardo Diaz and Sonny Forelli share first names with Ricardo Tubbs and Sonny Crockett. Little Easter egg here, I didn't notice, but this shot from Miami Vice is on the intro of Vice City, which was really interesting. Now they have the setting, the characters, and the story. Like, how did they bring this all together in a 9-month period? Reading off of Leslie Bensley's interview, he said his favorite part of development was how the creativity they had. And he said, with the core systems in place, we were really able to let our creativity run wild and try out all sorts of new ideas. After the excellent reception we received from GTA 3, we knew gamers liked what we were about. So it felt like a chance to really push ourselves to create something even bigger. And then, funny enough, Sam Houser actually had a different take to the production. He said, I remember being in a very dark place towards the end of production. I was punishing to live with. I was murder because we all felt the expectation and the pressure of the audience so much. I never want to let those people down. I'd rather they didn't buy it than let them down. Of course, obviously they had a lot of pressure from GTA 3, but like from reading this, you can tell they also put unbelievable pressure on themselves to perform. He also said, making something good and people liking it is ultimately all that matters. All the other stuff, quite honestly, is fluff and interference. There are plenty of things to try and pull you away from these things, but those are the things that matter. You doing your best to make something good and sticking on the screen and someone liking it. I think this echoes through every single GTA game. Like, you can see the pressure that they put themselves under, and like they've never once taken their foot off the pedal. They've just been incredible game after game after game. They've basically just been one-upping themselves every time, and it shows here because of like the pressure they put themselves under, you know, which is nice to see. Now, the big question, how did they come up with the amazing soundtrack? Again, Sam Houser had a bit of an issue with immersion. He wasn't sure with real music being put into this fake world. He thought it would interfere with the fictional game. Again, it was only Sam Houser, that's the thing. He's like the director of the whole thing. And again, like he's obviously gonna like, you know, always second guess himself. You know, he was very second guessing, like, oh, he wasn't sure about this or whatever, until his colleagues pulled him aside and they said, quote, "It's hot as hell. What are you talking about? It's amazing." And again, they've got their music inspiration from Miami Vice. Self-Control, Turn Up the Radio, Missing You, all featured in Miami Vice. If you just compare the theme song of Miami Vice to Vice City, they're nearly identical, you know what I mean? You'd nearly pick it up instantly what they're doing. A big question is, how did they get this done in 9 months, man? Like, that's incredible. I think we need to understand that nowadays, that just could not be done. Technologically, they've been pushed to the absolute brink, man. It takes you years to finish a video game, you know? Like, you have to remember, right? In any kind of business or company you work with, imagine you're a fairly small enough company and then you make this product that's better than ever and everyone's putting it down that you just revolutionized this. You just revolutionized this product or whatever, and everyone's telling you that. It's like, geez, you're gonna think you're a fucking god, you know what I mean? They may never say that, but they definitely deep down knew that they were fucking good at what they did. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, like, I'm gonna say there was just a bit of ego involved and a bit of, like, you know, ambition. They probably said, you know what, I don't want to be known as this guy that made this one game and then dipped, you know what I mean? So they probably, a bit of ego involved, and they probably said, you know what, we're not letting this happen. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna grind, and we're gonna make this game so everyone knows who we are, you know, that kind of way. And I'm gonna say they were just extremely ambitious, especially after GTA 3. If you look at the timeline, they made GTA 1, GTA London, GTA 2, GTA 3, and GTA Vice City in a span of 5 years. It's unheard of, man. Unbelievable what they did. Like, that's why they did it, because the team was exceptionally good. And I always think about it in sports terms, you know, you might come across this team, you know, 1 year who are just magnificent, and it's just like a bit of luck involved because you just got the right boys at the right time. There's a bit of luck involved, like that all these magical people came together and they did this thing. And I think that's what happened here with Rockstar, and they just created something amazing. But I want to finish with this statement because I think this is very interesting. Sam Houser was asked, a lot of people still talk about Vice City as their favorite game of the series. Do you think that's related to the music, or the atmosphere, or something else? Sam Houser said, I think it's because of what we call the vibe. I think it's the combination of music, the clothing, the vehicles, and other things. The way I look at it is that suddenly your PS2 had become a little time machine and it could take you anywhere, and this was just the first place that it happened to take you. And I think that's the perfect explanation of Vice City, because how many times have you been playing Vice City, or how many videos have you watched on Vice City? People always go on about the vibe of a Vice City. That's exactly what they were going for. I can only imagine the relief of Sam Houser realizing that people get the vision. People understand what they were trying to make. It's the vibe of the game that makes it so special. People always say, oh, I think Vice City is probably one of the best Grand Theft Auto games ever. But technologically and mechanics wise, it's 100% not. Like, the map is tiny, like, you know, like if you compare it to Grand Theft Auto 5, San Andreas, you know, Red Dead Redemption, or any of those games, it literally can't even compare. But people always come back and be like, no, it just is the best Grand Theft Auto game, and it's because of the vibe. And that was the Grand Theft Auto Vice City development cycle, ladies and gentlemen. I always thought this development cycle was very interesting. It's nice that we have a lot of interviews on this stuff, because I think it's part of history. I think we should know how things like this came to be, you know, because it's just so revolutionary, as we've said already. Keep playing games, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe. Slán leat.